Okay, what is up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, guys, if you are enjoying the streams, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and make sure you do hit the bell as well so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future, because of course you will be notified. Make sure you do check out the Discord link as well. It's completely free to join for elevating trades. It is at the top of the chat, so you can't miss it. Discount opportunities will be available there closer to launch, so make sure you do get involved with that, and of course join discussions about different trade opportunities and what people are looking at. So if you're interested, make sure you check that out. But guys, hope you're doing well. Welcome to another stream. So we're interesting day ahead. What's up, Rob? Welcome to the stream. Hey, appreciate it. Yeah, I've been doing the streams for a while now, probably over 3 years. I think I've been streaming. But yeah, I appreciate that, my man. I appreciate that. So yeah, guys, any pairs you're looking at, feel free to drop it in the chat. But yeah, today we've got some dollar news coming up at 1:30, jobless claims. We did have CPI yesterday, which in retrospect didn't really cause much damage to the market. Yes, we did see the market move back and forth a little bit. You can see Euro USD, big spike to the upside there, pull back. So it didn't really cause too much damage in terms of a massive candle. I'm pretty sure last time we had CPI was back over here. Was it? I'm not too sure. Was that CPI or was that NFP? That was NFP. My bad. Ignore that. That was NFP. But yeah, the last time we had CPI was a pretty big move. I can't remember when it was, but it was a pretty big move. Maybe it was this move here. Yeah, I think it was this move here, CPI. But yeah, this CPI didn't really cause too much movement. Looking across the board, yes, a bit of back and forth. Dollar was kind of weak after that, but then it kind of gained some strength late in the day. So it didn't really amount to much for DXY either. Again, the bias is still very much bearish for dollar, so that hasn't changed anything. And in fact, I'm actually hoping for a bit of strength actually because I wanna buy euro if it does pull back. But yeah, didn't really do anything really CPI yesterday. I was talking it up yesterday, but kind of a bit anticlimactic. But nonetheless, the direction for me is still the same from a technical perspective. Still looking at downside for dollar and upside for the dollar crosses. Good morning, Rick. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Afisi, we'll take a look. Afisi. Hopefully we're getting your name correctly. Probably not. But Pound USD we'll take a look at. Brian, good morning. Hope you're well. Sculpey, as always, good morning. Hope you're doing good. William, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Could use some JPY pairs, of course. They're crawling my zone. Yeah, I know. They're kind of slowly just edging higher, which is a good sign because it's not like prices exploding to the upside, because that will be a bit of a worrying sign from a seller's perspective. The fact that they're kind of just edging high slowly, it does mean that they're likely to put tops in at some point. Of course, when it does happen, that's the trick behind it. So we'll take a look at quite a few yen pairs today. Any specific yen pairs you want me to look at, drop it in the chat as well. What's up, Manzoni? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. So we'll start with pound USD. So pound is breaking higher. Again, if all goes to plan, we're looking for a swing back to the high here at 1.304. So that is the plan there with pound USD. Still looking for a big swing back to that high, but it's going to take some time, and we're kind of having a little bit of trouble at the high here, which is actually not bad because it's creating structure for us. So should we see a strong break of the high here, that actually could set up a really nice long opportunity. If we can get a pullback somewhere, a retest, and then look for the continuation, that would be something that interests me. I also spoke about this area here yesterday as well. If you were to pull back into that zone, that's also the area which I would like to buy pound USD from. It's just a question if we get there. So it's either we break the high and we continue, then we look for the retest after, or we have a bigger pullback, come back into the zone around 1.278. I see what we can do there. But the plan is to anticipate a swing back to the high I'm looking for the DXY to really sell off back to the low here, which is 101. So in my book, DXY has a lot of downside left in store. We go to the weekly chart. This is basically the level I'm looking for price to come into. So in my book, we still got a long way to go. We've still got a very long way to go. So hopefully we can, I mean, we might push up first, which I don't mind because it might mean that euro and pound retraces. But yeah, the bigger move I'm after is that. So for pound USD, I'm after the opposite. So yeah, that's kind of my update for pound. We've broken out this descending channel quite well. So now just looking for that momentum to continue. What is up, FX Wolf? Welcome to the stream. Very slow week. Yeah, it hasn't been anything crazy this week. Maybe bar from euro. Euro is very slow coming into the week, but picked up some pace. But yen pairs in particular, very slow. I mean, look at CAD yen there. It almost looks like the market has just gone flat completely. So yeah, very awkward price action, I must say, and that's the reality for a lot of yen pairs. Pound yen very, very sluggish there, which is not a good sign because price is waiting for some things, waiting for a catalyst to move, and that's most likely going to be some type of news. Do we have JPY news last night? I'm pretty sure we did. I have a look at the yen pairs in a minute. I just want to see if we got yen. Yeah, we did. We had GDP for yen, and that literally did nothing really. Yeah, that literally did nothing. I was expecting to wake up to a bit of action on the yen pairs, but yeah, nothing of that sort. So yeah, with the yen pairs, again, the idea is still very much the same. Looking for a lower high for a short. A few yen pairs which I do like. I like dollar yen a lot. There's a nice zone just above us over here. There's also a nice zone around 152 over here as well. So these are areas which I would like to short from. I like how price is moving because it's very, very corrective, taking its time, which means there's a good chance we are going to put a top in and at least see a reaction. Again, we don't have to see a push all the way to the swing low here to make a profit. Price can push halfway and you can still make a decent trade there. Of course, depending on how you manage the trade, partials or trading stop loss or whatever. But the plan is to see if we can catch a high and a move down. If it gets to the low, beautiful. But it doesn't have to go that far for us to make a profit. So we're just looking for a place where realistically that high could form. This is one and this is another. Hence why I'm kind of just waiting for price to get there. And I kind of like how price is consolidating because it tells me that a lot of early sellers will be gathered around this area here. So we could see price run higher to take them out the market, and then we could see the move happen. So that becomes a really nice opportunity should we get to that level. But yeah, as of late, the yen pairs are just moving sideways. So yeah, a lot of patience is needed. Aussie yen as well. I mean, this is an area I was looking at, but I'm not a big fan of how we're reacting. We're just kind of rejecting, which is not good because normally, or at least in my experience, the better trades get into your levels, and it's normally like one or two tests, and the market's normally falling or rising. If it's staying there for quite a while, sometimes we eventually do break lower, but the consolidation is not a good sign because if it's a strong level or strong area, it should reject price pretty soonish. The fact that price is still trading at that area means there's probably a chance we break higher, which is not the end of the world because again, I still do have an area slightly higher up, around 99.5. Should we get there? Again, that also looks like a nice sell to me. But I'm not really interested at that area as well. Similar to Euro Yen 2, I was discussing this area here coming into the week. Price is slowly looks like it's breaking above it, but again, just kind of sitting around it. If price was going to reject this area, I would have expected to see a move by now. So maybe Euro Yen does push a little bit higher. I've got my eye on this level up here, around 165. Hopefully we can see a push into that level. It might take us a couple days to get there because it's still got some distance to go. But realistically, Yeah, that's kind of my best bet with euro yen. So yeah, I like how price is moving because it's corrective, but it might mean that we do push higher a little bit before we do get that bigger sell off. So yeah, William, I'm in the same boat as you in terms of the yen pairs, waiting for some opportunities. They're taking their time, but still very, very much interested. Philip, good morning. Welcome to the stream. I'm doing good. I hope you're well. Pound CHF still waiting for the retest. Same with euro yen. Okay. Yeah, Pound CHF, was it you early in the week that mentioned that level? I'm pretty sure it was this low here, just above 1.12. So yeah, we've still got a bit of a distance before we do get to that low. But again, as things stand, that still looks like a really nice place for a short. Really nice momentum, breaking through that area. Again, no real kind of retest on the daily. For a while, we had a minor retest there, that bullish candle, but still looking like a relatively fresh level to short from. And again, I'm still looking for us to come back into the low here. So we have a reason to head lower back to lows and possibly to break through them as well, like we saw the other Swiss pairs do. So yeah, with pound CHF, still looking at this as a pullback, still looking at that as our impulse leg. So the idea is for the price to continue in that fashion, in that direction. It's just going to have to be a game of patience here. That level looks good. Just need to see if we can get there, and wait and see really. Yeah, otherwise there's not much to do with pound Swiss. And yeah, as I just spoke with euro yen as well, looking like a good short, but there is room to the upside should we have a bigger retrace. FX Wolf, which area are you looking at to short euro yen from? Do you have a particular level in mind, or yeah, are you waiting for anything in particular? Antonio, good morning. Or good afternoon, I should say to you. I'm doing good. Hope you're well. Brian Ensley Cad will take a look. Mirazes will take a look at Bitcoin. No problem. Sculpey gonna bang 200 press ups during the stream as I can't get to the gym because of school holidays. Oh, okay, 200 press ups during the stream. That's pretty impressive. 200 press ups. That's like 100 for the first hour, 100 for the second hour. So you're doing more than one press up a minute. That's decent. That is very decent. It's like what 1.4 something press ups a minute. Okay, but I want updates on that, Sculpey. I want updates. Yadish, yesterday goal gave a lot of opportunity. I saw 3 intraday entry on yesterday, but 2 in close one position. Another one, I got 110 pips. Nice. I missed one entry in Asian session. Yeah, I mean, again, it's not about the trades you miss, it's about the trades you catch. So if you miss a trade, all well. But at the end of the day, your P&L is a reflection of the trade you do take. So as long as you're taking good trades when they do occur and you manage to take some of them, then of course that's the goal at the end of the day. Making sure that trades you're taking are of good quality. Because yeah, that's the only thing that reflects on your account at the end of the day. Okay, so let me go through. Is it New Zealand CAD? If I have missed up, let me know. But I'll go through New Zealand CAD. We'll take a look at Bitcoin as well. So yeah, with New Zealand CAD, this one didn't see too much movement yesterday after, of course, the interest rate decision for New Zealand. A lot of weakness there on New Zealand part after the rates got cut, and a huge move down. Since then, the market's kind of been finding its feet. Again, it's difficult with this one. I do still look for downside here for NZD-CAD. That would be my bias. I've talked about this low and this low here, and I'm kind of viewing this as a big kind of fake out of the high. So had really nice resistance over here. Market broke through, and then I was expecting the retest of the market to go higher, but of course the news came in and had other ideas. Big break to the downside. So this looks like potentially prices just run through the high, taking out stops above here, and now we can use that liquidity to continue down back to the low potentially. So what I said yesterday would be a good short is if we can come back into that same level of resistance and look to place some shorts at that area. So if you can push up, take a short, could catch a nice drop to the downside, and this being your place of entry. So I still like that opportunity. I'm not a big fan of the price action of NZD CAD. It's not on my watch list for myself, so I'm not looking to trade it. But if I was, this would be the safest place for any sell entries, because at least I know I'm back at strong resistance, and I've got this to my advantage as well, because I know that any previous sellers have probably already been liquidated with that move. So now I can take some fresh sells from that high. So that's what I like about NZD CAD. But in the grand scheme of things, higher time frames, the price action is very, very choppy, which is why I don't really want to trade it. But nonetheless, that's a nice level in the 4 hour. It might not go the full swing, all the way back to the low, but if you can get a short there and take it back to this low, say for example, we pull back from here, catch a short there back to the low, I think that's still a decent trade. You probably still be looking at, depending on the entry, a 1 to 1, 1 to 2, maybe 1 to 3, maybe even more, even back to this low here. You don't have to look for the home run straight away. In fact, it's more difficult to look for bigger swings when the market's choppy. When the market's trending well, then I'll be a bit more aggressive, like the yen pairs, for example, or the Swiss pairs. I'll be a bit more aggressive with my targets. But when it's a bit more choppy like this, don't want to stay in the market for too long. So yeah, that's kind of what I'll be eyeing up for New Zealand CAD. We'll go through Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, I haven't actually looked at Bitcoin much. So yeah, we're struggling kind of at the midpoint of this descending channel, which is interesting because this is kind of like the first time Bitcoin is really, really struggling at this point. So I've been highlighting this descending channel. You got the lower highs here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you got the higher, well, the lower lows as well, 1, 2, 3. And what I've said about Bitcoin is that I'm not looking to do anything with Bitcoin until we're back at the high over here or down at the low here. That's the only time I'll try and do any analysis with Bitcoin, because anything in the middle, it's kind of like anyone's game. Anything can happen. It's very, very 50-50, indecisive. I don't have too much edge in the middle, but down at the low, I know it's either price is going to break through or reject. And if you can see some wicks like we've seen in the past, there's a good chance we're probably going to do another rejection, and therefore you got a bit of edge, you got a bit of probability in your favor. So when price gets back to the low, back to the high, then I can judge price a bit more closer. But right now, all I can see is that we're kind of fading at the middle. And, this white line is the midpoint of the channel, and price is kind of struggling at that area. So maybe Bitcoin does roll back over to the support. We can see what happens there. Do we start rejecting it? Okay, maybe Bitcoin could be going off another run. Do we see a strong close breaking through? Okay, oh no, maybe Bitcoin's going to have a bigger dive this time. So that's kind of what I'm looking at, to see what we do at this low, what we do at that high. Because if we break through the high, then yeah, we've got probably a bull run in our hands. But at the moment, Bitcoin's still very much in the middle of that range. So waiting for us to push back into 53, 52K or back to 68, 70K. And then I'll see what price does next. But in the middle there, anything can happen. Yeah, this really right now is kind of a range within the range. So I wouldn't try and do too much in that, because we could push right back up, push right back down, so on and so forth. Not really interested. And again, I don't want to drop too low on the time frames of Bitcoin as well. 4 hours kind of the lowest I would go, but mainly most of my analysis is done on the daily and the weekly. So yeah, that's kind of my update on Bitcoin. We'll go through gold next. I already done 175. Man, I've only been streaming for the 20 minutes. What's going on? Mate, the endurance there to do 175. Oh, you've done 200 already. Damn, Scott, I was expecting this to last throughout the stream. That is impressive, not gonna lie. Because I know with me, fatigue will kick in around 40, 50, and my muscles will be jelly. Is that in one go, or do you do like 20 rest, 20 rest, 20 rest? because that's in one go. That's insane. Okay, so what's up? Okay, yeah, I'll go through gold as well. Shakalin. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Good morning from Nigeria. Nice. Pound USD DXY gold. Yes, we will take a look. Manzondi, what kind of data comes out of the capacity? Yeah, I don't even know that is, to be honest, Manzondi. I don't follow that that announcement. Staying patient with BTC, yeah, do stay patient because right now BTC I wouldn't really do much with Bitcoin because it's kind of just in the middle. I think there's a big move coming up for Bitcoin because Bitcoin, all it's been doing for the past few months is just moving sideways. Really, of course, slightly trending down, but just been moving sideways. So a breakout will happen. My gut feeling is probably a breakout to the downside for Bitcoin, just because from a psychological perspective, a lot of buyers will be panicking a little bit, especially the newbie buyers who are just buying because everyone else is buying. Especially if they're investing with money that they need. Yeah, seeing Bitcoin fall is not a good sign and will cause a lot of panic selling. But yeah, in terms of PA, in terms of technical analysis, I'd wait for us to approach the low before judging price more closer. Anyway, let me go through gold. So yeah, gold's rejection of the high yesterday, I think that was a boost from CPI. So I've been speaking about the 2477 mark. So price has been rejecting this area quite a few times now. Well, 3. And we had a nice rejection. Excuse me. We had a nice rejection yesterday. But of course, CPI was the main culprit of that, but haven't really gone anywhere. And that's kind of what I was mentioning yesterday as well, that we may reject this high again because it's such a strong level, but we may not go too far because higher time frames are still very bullish. So if you do take any sells for gold, you're well aware that it's kind of for the short term, it's kind of for the here and now, maybe for the day or two before maybe not Bitcoin, before gold does decide to break higher. Because if you look at the weekly chart, momentum still lies with the bulls. We're still pushing to the other side. We're still breaking highs. Daily chart, again, momentum still lies with the bulls. It is a little bit choppy and a little bit corrective, sluggish. There's clear signs that gold is slowing down, but we are still very consistent with the higher lows. One back over there, another one over there, another one over there as well. So you can see price still pushing higher, still fighting higher. So I do think we're likely to break through this resistance. So as I was mentioning yesterday, a really nice bullish opportunity for gold would be if we can break the high and look for some retest, because we already know we've got the wind in our sails from the higher time frames. The market's still very, very bullish. And if you do get a strong break of the high, this of course will be now flipped as support, and it held really well at resistance. So I would expect it to do a similar job as support and hopefully provide us with a nice level to buy from and continue that gold trend to the upside. So still very bullish on gold, but need to see the break of the high. Again, if you're looking to short, you kind of want to see another rejection of that level. But as I've said, with the shorts for gold, it's a shorter term view because higher time frames are still very bullish. So if you can go against them, you're well aware that the higher time frame normally wins. So you're taking your profit a little bit quicker than if you're being pro trend. But nonetheless, this is the opportunity I would keep an eye on. We may have another drop before we do go and break out, so be aware of that. But in terms of a clear-cut buy, a sensible buy, and break above the high makes the most sense to me. I know we'll be at all-time highs, but what we're expecting is that momentum is going to pick up after the breakout and see follow through. So yeah, that will be my verdict on gold. Anything else? I'm not really interested. I'll take a look at the DXY in a moment. Okay, 25 rest. 50 for 2 sets, then 25 rest. Yeah, that's impressive. And you get my push-up game on the same level as you, Sculpey. Rob, do you do indexes? I don't trade in indices, but I can analyze them and go over them. No, I haven't looked at the indices yet. I will go over NAS, S&P, US 30. Do not worry. Again, pretty much any pair that people request, I will take a look at and give the rundown. But the pairs that I do trade myself are only FX majors, minors, and gold and silver. So those are the pairs that I do trade. But of course, I will look at other markets for people. I'm starting to look to add US 30 to my watch list. But yeah, I will take a look at other pairs. Okay, so we'll go over DXY. Quickly go through pound USD, then we'll go through some indices. Yeah, I mean that's a good little contest there, because of course you want to outdo each other, and then you should end up pushing each other very well. I need to do that with my brother, to be fair. Okay, so we'll go through DXY first, and then I'll quickly mention pound USD, then we'll go over to some indices. So yeah, for the DXY, I'm still very bearish, very bearish on this market. I do think there's a high chance that we do keep falling here, particularly to this low here, 101.250. So that's where I do see dollar ending up at. So my plan is any upside I see on the DXY is most likely a pullback for price to keep going down. Now, conditions aren't great for the dollar, so I'm taking it with a pinch of salt. So I'm not going to be so aggressive with that bias, but that is where I do expect price to come into. We've rejected a critical high up here, a bit of a fake out there. Market's come in a couple of times, rejected the high. Last time we did reject this area, we came straight back down into that same level. Same here as well, big fake out to the upside after we came back down into that same level. So basically, it's a big range play. Market rejected the high of the range, now expecting price to come back to the low of the range. So in theory, that's where I do expect to see price end up at. So dropping to the full hour, I was looking for the retest of this low. This week didn't quite happen. And now price is looking pretty bearish. So the next plan is to see what we do next. I mean, there's some areas up here which we could pull back into, which look good. Maybe not as good as that area over there, but we could see price make that move and then again get the sell-off. So I'll keep a close eye on that. But in theory, we're just looking for good opportunities that favor more downside for the dollar. So, taking that information into euro, I'm looking for something like this, a pullback, and then upside. So, and of course for pound as well, looking at the same thing, either pound, hopefully we come down into this area, get the retest, then buy, or we just go and break the high, and then we get a pullback. Either which way, looking for upside upside for the dollar crosses, but downside for the DXY. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with dollar. I've been very critical of the price action on the dollar, but it's starting to clean up, starting to look a little bit more promising. So pairs like Euro USD, Pound USD are looking a bit more promising to trade. We'll go through some of the indices. We'll take a look at NAS. So NAS, we've seen a lot of upside. We've seen a lot of upside over the past few days. Again, I'm wondering if we are just going to continue that trend on the higher time frames. We did put a really big wick to the downside last week, as we can see, big piercing wick to the downside. Market pulled up, closed bullish. Could we just be seeing a follow through of that trend again, and this being the next higher low? I think so. But we have come into some areas where I do think we have a bit of a reaction, particularly into this kind of area over here. I do think price is going to have a bit of a reaction for NAS, but it probably will just amount to a higher low for price to push on. So if you're looking for some bullish opportunities because you're looking for the trend to continue, maybe anticipating another swing back to the high, maybe from a weekly perspective, this is that next swing high, swing low, priced in. So you're now going to be expecting price to make its way back to the high. So if you're looking for some bullish opportunities, this is kind of where I would be looking at. If you're looking to sell, we're coming into a nice area right now. But if you're looking to buy, you kind of want to see price have a bit of a breather, just like we did over here. Nice higher low. Now you're looking for the next one. So around 18,600, 18,500 is kind of where I'll be focused at for NAS for a buy. But at the moment, this is kind of bearish territory for me. And we're still pretty consistent with the lower highs as well. Let's not forget that. And we haven't broken structure to the upside yet, but the market has been pretty consistent with the lower highs. We could still, in theory, see another one form and possibly a continuation to the downside. Although, based on higher time frames, I think that's pretty unlikely. But at least do expect to see a reaction lower. So wait and see some downside and some buys around 18,600, 18,500. Look pretty good to me. And I would imagine NAS is in a similar boat. So yeah, still pretty consistent with the lower highs. One over there, second, third, fourth, and again, could be forming a fifth in this area. But similar to NAS, I do think price is forming that next higher low with that big wick from last week. So if that is going to be the next higher low, then there's a very high chance that S&P is going to push back to the high eventually. So on the lower time frames, your 4 hours, hourlies, you're looking for your pullbacks. Next best area, I would say this brief area of consolidation or even retest of the high there, depending what comes first or what looks better. But looking for a pullback and then your buys. There's your first low, second low, third one, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I really like what I'm seeing with the indices. Big sell-offs past few weeks, but I think things are changing. Things are turning around, especially if dollar keeps falling as well, then that should help the indices push up anyway. If dollar's going to be weak, and it is currently weak as well. So if that sustains, if that persists, then we should see indices keep rising. US 30, this one again, similar situation as well. It's not as clean as I would say with NAS or S&P. But again, you can see on the weekly chart, you got a high low over here, another high low over there. We just printed the big wick from last week. That looks to be, that could be another be a higher low. If that is going to be the next higher low, then you're expecting us to push back into the high. So then if that's the case, let's drop to the 4 hour. Where are some nice places we could buy from? Well, this would be one of them. Nice consolidation there after nice breakout. Should we see a push down? That could be where the next higher low forms. And again, you're looking to take price to the upside and back into the swing high. So indices pretty much in the same boat, which is good because I like it when they're in sync. Makes it easier to analyze, and I'm naturally going to be more confident with my buys. Don't know what happened there. So yeah, that is what I'm looking at with the indices. We'll go through 250 now. Wow, Scorpio, you're flying through it, mate. Save some push-ups for the rest of us, mate. We'll go through silver. We'll take a look at silver as good morning. What is up? Pound Aussie. Okay, we'll add that to the list as well. If I have missed that up here, someone requested, just drop it down in the chat. But yeah, with silver we sold off quite well yesterday, but that kind of didn't amount to much because yeah, price is looking pretty bullish this morning. So we did see a reaction off this area. This is where I said if you're looking to shorts look good at that zone. And we did see a nice sell-off pretty much after the stream. After I wrapped up the stream, price to start selling off for silver. However, it didn't go too far. I mean, I did say watch out for some of these areas because, yeah, I still think silver is bullish on the higher time frame. So these sells for me are still counter trend. I did say watch out for this level. As I said, watch out for this area. And of course, watch out for the low down here. Of course, in hindsight, we can see this level was the level that sent price bullish. But if you took some partials there, you would still walk away with some type of profit. And I think that's the key thing about trading, especially with big risk rewards. And it's all well and good having big risk rewards, you 1 to 3s, 1 to 4s, 1 to 5s, and beyond. But you need to be flexible with that and secure gains or trade a stop loss, because it's very difficult to predict the market consistently from price to price. So from here to there, because so many things can happen in that area that are unforeseen. So if you can take partials or secure gains or trail stop loss along the way, you give yourself another opportunity to make a profit, not only if price get to a specific point. But anyway, we're back at that same level. So I wouldn't expect to see a big reaction anymore due to the fact that we had such a strong sell-off there on the 4 hour and price came straight back up again. That's not a good sign to me, especially when you had such a big reaction. I kind of want to see prices kind of continue that. The fact that we shot straight back up and we are closing above the bodies here is not really a good sign there on the 4 hour that we're about to sell off. So although we're back in resistance, I do think silver is probably going to break through this and see some more upside. Again, if I'm looking to buy, as I said yesterday, I kind of want to see price break the high here or push back into my zone on the weekly chart, which is down here. So these are the two kind of parameters I have for buying. There's a humongous level here on the weekly chart, massive resistance, was acting as support briefly as well. I think that that's a great support to buy from and possibly anticipate the next swing high. So in theory, that would be nice if silver can get there. If it doesn't get there and it wants to be bullish, then I'm more than happy to wait for price to break structure, which is this swing high here, this being the high that gave us this low. So if you can break that, then that'll tell me, okay, we're probably not going to come back and retest the level. We're just going to push off. And then the next pullback after that or a retest somewhere would then become a nice opportunity for me. And of course, you got the swing high over there, which looks like a really nice target there as well at 32.5-ish. So, yeah, so if it was me looking for the buy, I've got to wait for those. I've got to wait for those conditions to be met, either a retest of the low or break of structure. I can maybe get behind price breaking the high here, then looking for the retest of that. So something like that. As we come back to retest the high, I think you probably have a bit more luck on the lower time frames there, but still not a bad move at all. So maybe watch out for that there on the lower time frames for silver, breaking retest of the 28.04. But yeah, in reality, I want to see a bigger move down here for a swing or break structure and a pullback for a swing. But yeah, I do think we're likely going to see more upside for silver. And I think we're going to see more upside for gold as well. So yeah, I think both of them will probably push higher. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with silver. Okay, so we'll take a look at pound Aussie for as morning Lauder. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Good morning. Good morning. Are you looking at silver as well? Manzondi, affect the euro. I have no idea how it affect the euro index. Yeah. I have no idea how that would affect. All right, no problem, William. Hope you enjoy the stream. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, my man. Take care. No problem, Rick. Happy to help. Okay, so pound Aussie. Let's have a look, see in this one. Okay, so yeah, pound Aussie. Again, it's a bit of an awkward pair, but we just about hit this level here. The only thing is that we rejected it so strong and had such a big reaction that it kind of made it awkward to take a short, because I was looking at pound Aussie yesterday because the original plan was looking to short pound NZD, but I said after the price action of the NZD interest rate, I wasn't feeling the shorts anymore, and pound Aussie was looking a little bit better. So pound Aussie was coming to that zone, so I was debating looking to short it. Then we had such a big reaction that it kind of skewed up the risk reward. So if I because this would have been the entry candle because that was a nice wick, a nice rejection, nice bearish engulfing. That's textbook stuff. But in relation to the market, it just meant that my risk reward was very, very skewed because a pushback down into that low, which is kind of, it would have to be my first target. 1.94, it's very, very difficult for me to take that trade knowing that, okay, if I risk 129 pips, I'm only going to make 83. So it's just kind of backwards, it's kind of behind. So didn't end up taking the position, although I am still pretty bearish on pound Aussie and I still do see price falling to the downside. I think I'll wait for the next phase. So if this is price still getting ready to drop lower, let's break the support. And then hopefully the next pullback is a bit more promising in terms of the risk to reward. But could have taken the position, but it just means the risk is not worth the reward. So yeah, I wouldn't take that position purely off that basis. But in terms of the rejection, it's nice. In terms of higher time frames as well, I do still expect pound Aussie to short. So in my book, there's still a long way to go. But yeah, I would have to get involved in the next phase. Oh, that wick is very big. So if that's one high, that's a low, that's the next high, great. And then yeah, something like that is when I'll get involved. But yeah, pound Aussie, I am pretty bearish on, looking for a lot more downside. Pound NZE, as I said, bearish on 2, but this move here just made things so much awkward because you had a strong impulse down, consolidation, strong impulse up. That's not how a flexible, not flexible, that's the wrong word. How a typical, I don't know why I said flexible. That's not how a typical pullback looks. This is more the look of a reversal rather than a continuation. So that's why I'm kind of staying back with pound NZE. Pound Aussie had a bit more of a corrective pullback, but risk reward isn't great. But yeah, in terms of my analysis, that's what I'm looking for. Damn, 300. Hey, you're not joking. You said you were going to go for 400 and you're on course for it. I bet your chest is burning. Okay, so yeah, I hope that made sense on pound Aussie. But yeah, for those pairs, I'm still very bearish on pound Aussie, Euro NZE, pound NZD, Euro NZD. I'm still very bearish on. I'm just waiting for opportunities to actually get involved. A lot of them is to do with break of the low. I mean, Euro Aussie had a nice rejection, but it just didn't come into an area that made sense based on my trading plan. I mean, this would have been a better short than pound Aussie because it's a little bit higher up. Although, would I still get 1-to-1? Maybe just get 1-to-1 into the low. But yeah, this one didn't fit the plan in terms of the technicals because there was no key level support resistance to short from. As yes, I have gone through gold, but I can quickly run through that. Hey, Kojo, watching live from Ghana. Wicked. What is up? Hope you're well. Holy One, yes, I did take a Euro Swiss, which I did close early for a small loss. I was shorting back over here and a stop loss above the high. And then I end up closing the trade around, I think it was here-ish, because price was failing to basically create a new low because we were pretty consistent with the higher highs and higher lows here. So the plan was to look for the next high for a drop to the downside as we came into a lovely level over here on the left, retesting that. So I was looking for the high to form, but didn't quite form. We created another higher low, and then we started looking pretty bullish. And then we broke the high, so I closed the trade a little bit early, which did end up saving me some pips there. But yeah, that's the only position I'm taking this week. I'm still kind of eyeing up the yen pairs, which is just taking their sweet time. because CHF and yen are my main focus, but slowly Euro USD and Pound USD are now in the spotlight for me. So I'm going to keep a closer eye on these two in particular. But yeah, yen pairs have been my focus for the past couple of weeks, but the pullbacks have just taken longer than expected, and it's just very, very sluggish right now. So yeah, I don't want to force anything or jump the gun, waiting for them to come to me. But yeah, I've got my eye on them. But yeah, price action like this is horrendous. Okay, I'll quickly go over gold. As yeah, pound Aussie is stuck in consolidation, the 4 hour, perhaps a break. Yeah, I very much agree. If we can see a strong break of the low, hopefully that will open up the gates of some decent momentum in the market, like we had previously over there, and then take some shorts to the downside because you have such a clean move up as well. Typically, when we see smooth runs to the high or smooth move down, typically price has a pretty nice ride back up or back down. In this case, back down, because there's not a lot of support resistance for us to get hold up at. So I do expect to see a smooth move back down, or relatively one. But yeah, I need to see price break the low, and then I can be a bit more interested in pound Aussie. But for now, the bias is definitely short. Okay, so GR30, I'll take a look. Let me just go through gold very quickly. So yeah, gold, I'm still looking for a break to the upside. This is the plan. This is very much the plan. I don't really have much else for gold because anything inside here, I'm kind of viewing a bit, as a range really. So I'm not trying to predict price inside of this area, but if you can break through it to the upside, that's a different story. Things will probably look a lot cleaner at that point. I said we might have another move down first and then price might break out, but nonetheless, just looking for a strong breakout and then looking for the retest of that same level. You can see 1, 2, 3 rejections of that level. So price has paid a lot of attention to 24.77, 24.80. So a break and a retest of that level could be a really nice buy. And of course, knowing that we do have the higher time frames on our side, monthly, weekly, all showing bullish momentum. So the likeliness of this trend continuing is still pretty high. Although, yes, we are forming or showing some signs that the market is slowing down, maybe struggling at the high a little bit. But that can all be put aside if we do see a strong break of the high, strong impulsive one, and then we can find some retest after. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for gold. I'm not really interested in price inside the range because it's difficult to see what prices are going to do. And yeah, I'm not really interested in shorts either, knowing that high time frames are still pretty bullish. Okay, so I'll go through GR30. Oh, it's not on the list. Okay. Oh, we're back at the high. Okay, things are looking interesting here. That could even be a nice entry signal there. So yeah, with this one, with the DAX, I think I spoke about the DAX either earlier this week or maybe last week, but effectively I'm looking for a short from that area because we had such a clean break to the downside. Now the market had a really nice corrective pullback. Again, it looks similar to other indices, similar to the yen pairs, really CHF pairs, really big drop past couple of weeks, and now we're seeing a slow kind of move higher up. We're looking for price to reject that level and see some downside. However, long term, still pretty bullish on the DAX, particularly the weekly chart. Weekly chart still looks really bullish to me. The market's still forming higher highs and higher lows. We come back to retest a brief area of consolidation in there. So in my book, I do think the DAX is long term is going to make its way back to the high. But for now, since we did have such a strong break of that low, such a strong break of this low here in the daily, I do think we can at least see a reaction, at least see a push down. But I would say keep an eye out for some of these areas here on the left, which could, of course, reject price. So these could all be some really nice areas for take profits. You know, depending how you want to manage your trade. Of course, you don't have to take profit at every single level, but you know, spot 2 or 3 to look at where you can manage your trade, trade a stop loss, break even, take some partials along the way. Because in theory, we could see DAX make a swing all the way. Oh, did not mean to do that. All the way back into the low, which would be a phenomenal trade to catch. But equally so, we could see the higher time frame step in with that bullish momentum in the higher time frames, and of course take price higher. So to protect yourself against that, take some positions, close some positions early, and manage accordingly. But yeah, DAX for me, really nice zone for a short. Really nice zone for a short. 350, 50 left to go, Sculpey. 50 left to go. And they're all done within the first 1 hour. All right, Rick. No problem, my man. Take care. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. If you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way, please be sure to drop a like on the stream. It really does help out. Thank you to everyone who has liked the stream so far. And of course, make sure you do subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And of course, make sure you do hit the bell as well, so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. And yeah, appreciate everyone who has liked and subscribed. Gonna get to, yeah, of course. There's no way you're stopping at 400 when you got 500 in touching distance. Okay, I want to hear this update tomorrow then, Sculpey. Bank the last 50 now before I go. Good man. Having poor connection. Have you looked at Euro? Is anyone else having poor connection? I don't know if that's your end or my end. I'll go through Euro USD now. $21 done 400. That is impressive stuff. Putting us to shame there, Sculpey. Okay, so yeah, for Euro, expecting more upside again with my bearish bias for the dollar. I'm looking for a big drop for this one back to 101 roughly. So Euro USD, I'm expecting something similar, but back to the high here, which is trading at 1.11. So that's where I do see price ending up for Euro. Yeah, everything is really bullish right now for Euro USD. It's been sluggish, but we've gone from making lower lows to now making higher lows, and the market slowly pushing up. So this is what I would call a nice bowl shape pattern. Market's gone from making lower lows, higher lows, and this is the pattern at play. And you expect price to to explode higher. So that's kind of what we're doing right now with Euro USD. So hopefully price can continue this behavior. We had the descending channel in for a while. That's been well and truly broken. And now we've got this bullish trend on our hands. So yeah, keep an eye for 1.11. That's the next major target for me for Euro. We've got a lovely high over there, which price can come back and retest. And of course, you've got a consolidation just below it, which we may dip into before seeing a push higher. But that's your swing low there. That's your swing high. That's your swing low. But you can't see my highlights. Let me do that again. So you swing low, swing high, swing low. This could be a new swing high if the market does decide to pull back, which would be great. Then yeah, looking to try and catch that next swing low. I'm gonna retest somewhere, and yeah, probably just take it back to the high, but maybe leave small positions to run to see if we get back to the daily level. But yeah, Euro to me looking very, very bullish. What's up, Ben? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. I'm done 400 an hour. Yeah, that's impressive. All right, take care, Sculpey. Have a good one. Okay, on your end, okay. It does all seem slow today. Yeah, price is a little bit slow. I mean, we had CPI yesterday, which was a little bit a little bit of a letdown in terms of moving the market a lot. It did have a reaction, but not as much as I was expecting. Today we do have some jobless claims in the afternoon, 1:30 UK time. So again, retail sales, I'm not expecting anything crazy from these guys, but hopefully that might inject a bit of momentum into price. But yeah, it is a little bit slow. It is a little bit slow, especially with the yen pairs. Again, I know quite a few people have been focusing on the yen pairs as of late, but yeah, the market just hasn't been playing ball really. It's still moving pretty well, still moving like just price is correcting. So I do think we'll see that dive for these yen pairs. And again, they're all very much linked with each other. So when one moves, they all move. So it's just about picking the better yen pair, which fits your plan well, gives you the best risk reward, taking that and seeing that trade through. But in my eyes, the yen pairs might not be ready just yet. So yeah, staying patient for that. Ben, any positions for you this week? Yes, I did have a Euro Swiss short, which I closed a little bit early because price wasn't really moving too well. I got into some shorts at this candle here. It was a really nice entry, big wick to the upside, nice shift momentum. So it was a really, really nice rejection there. And it was off a nice daily level here too. So if I mark it on this daily low over here, as you can see, beautiful move to the upside. I was looking for a short at that area. Did see a nice reaction. However, it just didn't sustain. So it was a nice move down, didn't sustain, and then price sort of moved sideways. And as it broke to the upside above the area, above the consolidation, I did close out the trade. After this candle here for off about 50% of my drawdown, because at that point it was already breaking through my level and we already just put another higher low in, which is not what I wanted to happen. I was looking for price to at least get back to the low here, then I'll see what happens next. But it looks like price just wants to continue the trend, so I decided to close it a little bit early. But besides from that, much hasn't happened. I've been looking at the yen pairs. As I said, they're not looking quite ready for me yet just now, and they're pretty much a similar move to the Swiss pairs as well, in terms of we had a big move, we're looking for a retracement for another move down. So kind of in the waiting, kind of just waiting with the yen pairs and the Swiss pairs together. Euro USD and pound USD are starting to look good now, with dollar actually making some moves. So I've added these guys to my watch list now. Besides from that, CAD pairs not really interested in. Some of the cross pairs not really interested in just yet. So yeah, CHF pairs keeping a close eye, but doesn't look like ready to be shorted yet either. Where was I? What's your ideal confidence for trade entry? Again, when I'm speaking on confidence, it's not necessarily for trade entry, just for the trade altogether. So it's not okay. Confidence for entry is confidence for the trade, because trade is broken into three components in my eyes. For a trade to come into play, you've got number one, direction. You've got number two, where you want to enter, so your location, and then three is the entry trigger. So I have a confluences for those ideas, but my entry trigger is mainly candlestick patterns, and of course specific areas of support and resistance, which is my main technical tool. I also do look at trend lines, Fibonacci, moving averages, chart patterns, momentum, multi-time frame analysis. All those things do factor in, which are confluences, even correlation. But the main thing is support resistance and candlestick patterns. Had a terrible day with ETH. What happened with ETH? Didn't know you trade Ethereum. I don't know many people who do trade Ethereum, to be honest. Yeah, being a slow week, just grinding up. Yeah, that's a lot of pairs have done that because we had such a big sell off for so many currency pairs, but markets as well. Because the indices had massive sell offs as well. So as you can see, NAS had a big sell off. The Swiss pairs had a big sell off. The yen pairs has a big sell off. That's not a yen pair. That's a yen pair. The yen pairs have a big sell off, and all of those pairs have just been slowly grinding higher. So if you're looking at shorts, which is what I'm doing, it's been difficult because they had some nice reactions, but they just haven't sustained. So yeah, it's been difficult. And they've been taking their sweet time as well. Lauder, yeah, nothing seems to be happening today. Maybe new. Yeah, like I said, we do have some news today. Jobless claims retail sales for dollar at 130 in about 2 hours and 20 minutes from now. But again, I'm not too sure how much of effect that will cause or give the market, because CPI was the main event this week, and that didn't do too much really. And Euro USD just gave us a big wick to the upside. So in hindsight, you probably wouldn't be able to actually see if there's, to actually tell if there was news there or not. So yeah, that hasn't really given us much to work with, but I'll keep the hopes up. Maybe we will have something. I think NZD has been giving us the biggest move this week, of course, with the interest rates. Favor, okay, we'll take a look at oil, no problemo. And yes, we'll go through New Zealand yen as well. So yeah, for oil, so yeah, for oil, I was actually looking for the retest of this level here, but didn't hold. Price did have a minor retest, but it just didn't follow through, and price eventually went and broke through. But from a top-down perspective for oil, I'm still very much on the fence. I've been speaking about this for a while now, and yeah, I'm still in the same situation in terms of waiting for price to commit. Because at the moment we're making a bunch of lower highs, and at the same time we're also making higher lows as well. So there isn't a clear direction. The reason why high time frame analysis works very, very well is because you can see an overview of what the market is doing, and what the direction of the market is. If the market's trending up on the monthly, trending up on the weekly, trending up on the daily, trending up on the 4 hour, then there's a good chance if you get into a buy trade, you got a good chance of that playing through, just in terms of the market direction alone. Of course, you have to look in your entry and where you're entering, and trade management, all that will come into play, of course. But if the market is trending up in all those major time frames, then there's a good chance that for your trade, the market's likely going to push up as well. So multi-time frame analysis can be very, very helpful from that regard. But when the monthly is doing something, the weekly is doing something else, the daily is doing something else, 4 hours ranging, then there isn't much consistency there. There isn't much synchronicity there. So the multi-time frame analysis probably confuses you more than it helps you. And in theory, that's probably the best time to just stay on the sidelines and not trade, and just wait for the time frames to come into sync. But yeah, for oil right now, we're kind of just squeezing. So the weekly, the monthly charts aren't particularly clear. This could be a pullback of that bullish move for a big break higher, but equally it could be the market's finding the top and it wants to come back down. So I'm not getting much information in terms of direction from the higher time frames for oil, apart from us just squeezing in this kind of pennant pattern. So I think the breakout will be very, very interesting for oil, and then things will look a lot clearer. Of course, that breakout might take another month or so that's not ideal. But that's kind of the reason why I don't trade just one or two pairs, because as a swing trader, it could take a while for a market to look good for me. And in the meantime, another market could be looking great to trade. But for now, for oil, we're still respecting the low, so naturally expecting a move back to the upper end of the pattern. So Jenny would be looking for buys, but in all honesty, I'm not really seeing any good buys really. I like that level there because market was showing a lot of respect to it. But since the buys failed there yesterday, yeah, I wouldn't look to do much with it. I mean, there's some minor areas down here, but I'm just not convinced right now. So yeah, with oil, like I said, expecting to move up high. Maybe if you do get back above, next pullback could look good there. You know, you got your high, higher low, higher high, higher low. That might be a nice little trade there to take. But other than that, I'm not seeing much with oil. I would leave it alone. Very, very choppy market. In terms of New Zealand yen, now this one's a little bit more, I can make a bit more use of this one. Monthly chart, we came back into the high of the range essentially. The market has been really, really sturdy up at these prices and rejected it numerous times. And again, we saw a big rejection, really strong monthly candle close. So the plan for this month was to see a bearish move, which we did see. You know, the market doesn't necessarily have to close bearish. It just has to give us a bearish move, which we have kind of seen. So kind of looking for that to continue. So on the weekly chart, you can see we've already broken out all of this bullish trend. So all of this has been put to bed now. So I'm looking for us to see if we can sustain that bearish momentum and just find some places to short from. I've marked out this daily low here since this was the last low before we had this massive run to the upside. So of course, this will become a nice area of resistance around 90. And then possibly we might see the market continue down. So yeah, New Zealand yen looks a lot cleaner than oil, at least according to my analysis. So yeah, the 4 hours kind of just focusing on this area here. So if we could see one more push higher, that would be nice. And then you can get your trade like so. And start look to see if you can get a nice swing to the downside, at least back to the low there, but we could go a lot further. So yeah, that's kind of what I'll be looking at for New Zealand yen. And again, very similar outlook as with the other yen pairs as well. But yeah, I'll probably be trading stop loss, trying to lock in gains before we get to the low. Holy one, yes, look at that trade also, but nowhere near breaking the 50 MA, so no trade. Which market are you talking about? Is it oil? New Zealand yen? Can't remember which pair I was talking about before. What's up, Mao lovers? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good. Gan Huyag. Hope I'm saying that correctly. Probably not. But Aussie Cad will take a look. Trending shorts. Hello, hello. Yeah, you're gonna get removed. No promotion on the chat, please. Okay, so let me go through Aussie CAD. Ben, thoughts on gold. Okay, let me go through Aussie CAD and I'll take a look at gold. So yeah, for Aussie CAD, Aussie CAD, Aussie CAD, Aussie CAD. So yeah, Aussie CAD, yeah, I don't really like the pair at all, to be honest. Had a bit of a mood down this week, and yeah, it's just hectic stuff because again, what are we trying to do in the higher time frames? Is price forming another higher low? Could be. Not convinced really. And again, looking at the bigger picture as well, it just looks even worse. So again, with Aussie CAD, when the high time frames aren't really moving well, you're looking for shorter term moves. I mean, I like how he did reject that low there. If you do push higher up, still would be looking for a sell. But the fact is that we haven't continued is a little bit worrying. So I kind of would expect the price to start to break lower by now. But nonetheless, this could also be a really nice place for a short back at the high. But again, not being too aggressive, not expecting the world from the short, as in us just kind of collapsing to the downside. But I do think we can get there, react, see a move back down. But as we start approaching back to these areas, again, you want to secure some gains, because for me, I can't really work out a really good long-term bias for this one. So if I do take a trade, it's kind of like I know that I'm just trading for the session or trading for the day. And if it goes further, great, you can leave positions to run. But because it's not clear, you want to be a bit conservative with your trades and you take profits. So yeah, I would expect price to reject the high. Of course, wait to see how we get there. Naturally, that looks like a good place for a short. Really nice reaction previously. If we could do the same again, that could be a really nice short there. Of course, you see how price reacts, because we could just break straight through. So keep an eye out for that. But things look good. We reject the high well, then I would be looking for a push back into 0.90, 400 for next week. So yeah, that's kind of my take on Aussie CAD. But just playing it safe, because higher time frames are very, very messy and not abundantly clear. Okay, Lauda, have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow. So yeah, that's my take on Aussie CAD. Not the clearest pair in the world, but I do like that area on the 4 hour. In terms of gold, so yeah, my take on gold is I'm still very bullish. I'm waiting for price to break high before I do engage. Again, my main kind of thought process with gold is that, okay, monthly chart is still pretty bullish, weekly chart is still pretty bullish, daily chart is still pretty bullish. So naturally, I'm going to be expecting that to continue higher. However, we need to find a good opportunity to trade that bias. And the next best opportunity I can see, the low time frames from the 4 hour point of view, would be a break and retest of the high there. If we can see a solid break of the high, naturally this will of course come support. And since we have done such a good job at rejecting as resistance, I do think we can do a similar job as support. Inside of here, it's just ranging, fluctuating between the high and the low. So I don't want to get engaged in here unless maybe we push to the lower end of things, back to the low. That way I can get a safer stop loss and at least you're in the same direction as the trend as well. So I wouldn't mind buys down there, but the best case scenario would be a break and we test the high. And then, yeah, expecting the trend to continue. Anything else I'm not really interested in with gold. Not really interested in with gold. Don't want to try and do too much. I said yesterday shorts look good, but again, it's a shorter term outlook because we know higher time frames are still bullish. Of course, things can change. It has to change in the lower time frame anyway before it does change in the higher. So there is that outlook, but when you've got multiple time frames all pointing up, there's no need to try and go against that, or at least for a long time anyway. So yeah, with gold, looking for price to break higher, but need to stay patient. And yeah, since I do have a bearish bias as well for dollar, that should help out gold pushing up higher too. Dollar takes a dive. If dollar's weak, then that's better for gold. But I only see moment. Likewise for silver, but I need a little bit more from silver if I'm going to get into any buy trades. A little bit more work. Is anyone looking to trade gold or trading gold at the moment? Yeah, if gold does break the high, well, then I will look to trade it. But anything else, I'm just not interested. I like silver as well because it's got a lot more upside potential than gold since we're very, very far away from the high. This is the weekly chart. You can see how far we are from that high. So there's still a lot of work to do. And even the all-time high, which is all the way up there, we've got a long way to go before we even get to that price there too. So in my view, there's so much more upside in store for silver, or at least for us to get back to the previous high. There's so much more to go. So this becomes really attractive to trade or even just buy and hold, really. But yeah, I want to see a price move back into 26, or if we don't do that, let's break structure and then I'll look for the next pullback after. But after today's move, strong impulse down and price is looking pretty bullish. Yeah, I think we're probably going to continue higher. Follow the trend. Okay, currently on gold buys from 24.55, stop loss and break even now. Nice. Where is that? 24.55, 24.55, 24.55. Okay, so that's just around here-ish. So yeah, I mean, it's looking good intraday. I mean, you do have a little bit of an obstacle in your way, which would be this level here. So that is, you only kind of red flag a little bit, but naturally I would expect price to break through anyway. But of course, that's up to price to decide if it wants to break through or not. But if it does break through, then you probably will have a pretty smooth ride back to the high here, 24.80. So if you do see price get above that, I think you should be in a smooth run back to the high. If not, if the trade does come back against you and hits you at break even, it's probably because price did reject that level. But we'll see come this afternoon. But where's your take profit? Okay, aiming for at least 24.70. So that's roughly there-ish. Yeah, it's like I said, if it gets above that high, I think we get to 24.80 really, which is the high up there. So yeah, I think you're looking good if you get that break of that level. Okay, you bought at 24.54. Okay, that's pretty much the same price. 24.54, 24.55. Are you break even as well, or how are you looking to manage that one? After breaking the highs, what point in trading journey was your toughest, and how did you overcome? Probably. I'll probably say, yeah, I'd probably say probably about two years in, finding some good consistency for about, I think, 4 or 5 months. I was doing pretty well. And then, yeah, completely just room. I remember I upped my risk a little bit, and that threw me off a little bit. And then I decreased my risk, but I just couldn't find the consistency again. And yeah, for the next 4 or 5 months, I was just in a big losing streak. And yeah, really humbling because you think you cracked the code, but then you haven't. So you're like kind of back at square one again, or not square one, but yeah, after doing well for a while, you think you've done it, and you can, all you're looking to do is now maintaining, but undoing all that hard work in a few months is really humbling. But yeah, I mean, the way I overcame was just keeping it simple, going back to what I was doing well, and really just thoroughly reviewing my trades and reviewing my trade process as well, which is very important. So from the process of looking at the charts to analyzing the charts to taking the trade to managing the trade, because all it is just a process of doing that. If you can manage that very well and identify where your weaknesses is in the analysis, is the execution, is it the trade management, is it the going from the analysis to the taking the trade, reviewing that in a lot of detail really helped me, because a lot of the time I would miss good trades and then just go and take a bad trade because I missed a good trade, which makes no sense. If you miss a good trade, okay, you miss a good trade. Yeah, wait for the next good trade. Don't just go and take a bad trade to compensate for that. So just eyeing out those kinks, because a lot of trading is just eyeing out your kinks and keep doing what you do well best, and focusing on that. So yeah, in terms of overcoming, was just going back to what I was doing before and keeping things very simple, and just really going heavy in terms of reviewing my processes. Nice clean charts. Appreciate that, Kojo. Yeah, for an hour is there now with no bottom wick and can reverse. Okay, no problem. Follow the trend. Happy to help. Hopefully that trade goes well. Okay, break even. Looking for 24.75. Okay, very much similar trade. You guys following each other. 24, 20, 24.55, 24.54, and then 24.70 as a target, and then 24.75. Almost the exact same there. What are the odds? But yeah, I mean, in terms of that intraday trade, I think we got a good chance of that seeing. Just let's see if we can, break through that area, and hopefully momentum can sustain. Again, I think the dollar news this afternoon will play a big role in your trade, because we're not going to hit 24.70 or 24.75, in the next hour, most likely. So you probably will be holding it into the news this afternoon. So hopefully that gives some weakness, and hopefully that can help out your goal position. But yeah, you're both break even. So, worst case scenario, you take a break even, which isn't the end of the world. You take the break even, you're on to the next. As long as you're managing trade according to your plan, that's all you can do at the end of the day. Break even, win or lose. That's all you can do. Would you consider yourself purely technical? Yeah, very, very technical. Again, I keep an eye on fundamentals, but no, very, very technical. I wouldn't take into consideration, okay, rates have cut for this country, so I'm now just going to be looking for shorting opportunities. That's not the case. If the markets are bearish, I'm looking to short. The markets are bullish, I'm looking to long. So yeah, 100% technical. And again, I feel like because I take advantage of the high time frames pretty well in terms of looking at the monthly, weekly, and the daily charts to create a bias, it kind of means that I take into fundamentals a little bit anyway. Because fundamentals will be priced into the market. People will read headlines, read news releases, and they will act accordingly, buy certain currencies, take off positions, and all of that will be priced in the higher time frames. So using the higher time frames as your bias, as your narrative in the market, kind of means you're using not using fundamentals. It's still technicals, but you're kind of taking into account fundamentals, sort of, because they're all being priced in at some point anyway. But no, I'm very much a technical trader. Okay, took partial 25% already, so I'm happy. Good. So yeah, worst case scenario, you walk away with your partials, which is still a win. Still a win. Of course, it's not a big win, but you take those wins on board. It's all about a sequence of wins, losses, which creates profitability. Of course, you just want to make sure the wins outweigh the losses. That's all. Next few months are very slow for traders. Not really. I think summer months, yes, but no, not really. I mean, for me, summer months aren't particularly slow. Price action is going to be slower because some of the big boys are taking some of their holidays, so you're going to see less momentum in the markets on average. But you still get some nice moves during the summer months. But as time picks up, when people start getting back to work and you get the last kind of like 4 or 5 months of the year, you will get a lot more momentum in that state. Well, of course, apart from maybe the second half of December, but until then, momentum should pick up. Yeah, next few months will be volatile. Yeah, so the summer months is where it's a little bit dry, but from like August, September onwards, should see some nice movement. Yeah, that's true. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, upcoming election in the US and rates as well. Yeah, the election will cause a lot of movement because I remember the last election. Was it the last election? Yeah, yeah, the last election. I remember the last election, and that caused a lot of movement. I remember I was trading Euro USD at the time, but I got the trade just before. Trying to see if I can find it. Forgot to upgrade the plan there. Anyway, it happened in 2020. And I remember because we had the COVID in March, and that caused a lot of movement. And then, of course, had the elections in November. I think it is November. I think it's November. If I'm mistaken, let me know. And yeah, the market was just wicking back and forth. It didn't really cause too much movement. I think price did start to rally after, and dollars pretty weak after, but it caused a lot of wicks during the news release. So yeah, if you're in the market, I mean, of course, that's that time. I don't know about the time before that. Yeah, I wasn't trading in 2016, so I don't know about the time before that, but that last time caused a lot of movement. So this time, yeah, I don't want to be in the markets for it if it's going to move like the previous time. Put experience this far. Golden advice. Okay, good question, Kojo. I'd say golden advice would be, again, there's advice on just so many different topics, really, but I think in general, persistence in trading. It's not gonna be a clear path in terms of, okay, I do this, I do this, I do this, now I'm profitable. You'd be many different kind of turns and bumps in the road. You may have to go back a few steps to go to go forward a few more. So my biggest advice would be persistence, and also in terms of knowing your strategy very, very well. Whatever strategy you trade, whatever system you trade, doesn't matter what it is, know it very, very well. The more you know it, the better you will be, 100%. If you know your strategy in 50/50, then your results going to be 50/50. If you know your strategy like the back of your hand in detail, then you'll be much better off in the markets. Not only because you'll be more profitable with it, but also you know it very well in terms of the drawdowns as well, so you don't get emotional. Because if you understand that, okay, my strategy has a max losing streak of 7 trades, you know that if you're in a losing streak right now of 4 trades or 5 trades, this is normal. This is supposed to happen. So you're not going to freak out and go change your strategy or go do something stupid, because you're well aware this is what's supposed to happen. So the better you know your strategy, the better trader you will be in general. So my biggest advice is persistence, and just know your strategy better than anyone else. Euro Swiss sells, need to break the 50 and the 4 hour. Okay, I'll take a look at Euro Swiss. That was the one I was selling earlier this week. Still looking to see if I can find another entry, but it's just been very difficult with Swiss. I think Swiss just been very weak, and they've just been pushing up quite well. Need to see a rejection come into play. Ben, trading it for fundamentals. Yeah, he's a very, very fundamental trader. He focuses on technicals as well in terms of his entries and trade management. But in terms of creating a bias and stuff like that, he focuses very, very much on fundamentals. And yeah, he's naturally good at explaining things as well. So if people do wanna brush up on their fundamentals, he's definitely a good trader to look at for that. What's up, Pavinator? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Happy Thursday to you as well. No, I haven't looked at Aussie dollar yet. I will go take a look. Okay, so Euro Swiss. Let me quickly run through that. Let me add the 50 to the chart as well. Is that 50? Nope, it's 200. There we go. Okay, so 50. Talking about the daily 50, maybe the daily 50. Need to break the 50 in the 4 hour for a seller entry way too far. Okay, break the 50 in the 4 hour. So you want price to break below it. Is that right, Holy One of Israel? Waiting for price to break the low, break through the moving average before you're looking to sell. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we go and meet the moving average on the daily, to be fair. I wouldn't be too surprised if that's to happen. Because again, my main plan this week was looking to sell Euro Swiss from this low here. And then if it did break higher, I would look at this area here too, which is kind of where we're in right now. But again, not seeing anything just yet. I'm looking the hourly and price is still looking relatively bullish. I need to see a big reaction for me to get a short in. Something like that, which may come from the news later today. So I'll keep an eye on that. But still a pretty strong close on the last hourly candle. So not trying to jump the gun here with this one. Again, I'm well aware we could still break to the upside as well. But this level here was the main focus. So seeing it break is not a great sign. But I'll see what we can do at this area here. For Euro Swiss, maybe we test the daily fib moving average as well. Still a bit of a far away though. But yeah, Pavinator, I will take a look at Aussie dollar for you. Bank of Japan not planning to increase rates again. Could do. I mean, if that's the case, that could play out from a fundamental perspective as well. And if that's the case, I'll wait for the technicals to price that in terms of huge move up to show me that characteristics have changed, and then look for the pullback in the other direction. Because this is where all the momentum lies so far, and we are still very, very corrective here. So I'll still naturally have a short bias, but if we do see a strong move up and then things change and I'm seeing corrections in the opposite direction, then that will make me look for buys again and retest and so on and so forth to take it to the moon. But yeah, at the moment, the price is very, very dead. Anyway, so I'll go through Aussie dollar. So yeah, Aussie dollar, yeah, not big fan of price really, I must admit. Again, naturally, I'm bullish on the Aussie dollar, but I'm not really looking to buy it. I like Euro USD, I like pound, so I just focus on those pairs in terms of looking for buy opportunities, because every other dollar pair kind of looks not good for me right now. Yeah, so dollar seat chef, that looks okay. I'll get onto that one in a moment, but I just need a bit more upside before I get involved. Dollar CAD, not really interested. New Zealand dollar, not really interested. Aussie dollar, not really interested either. If you're looking for some short-term moves, I wouldn't mind a short from the high here, similar to Aussie CAD. So if you can push back into the high, we had a nice reaction yesterday. Maybe you can catch a nice short from this area here again today, maybe back into the low, and then you can call it a day. I wouldn't really look for any swing trades with Aussie dollar just because the market isn't in the swing trade fashion in terms of creating a nice trend which we can swing with and follow, because I don't know what the trend is at play right now. The market has been very, very sideways for quite a while. For over a year, we've kind of just been moving sideways now. So there isn't really a clear direction to follow. Therefore, you kind of just looking to take trades and being careful with your targets, because if you aim too far, there's a very strong chance the market's just going to snap back against you, and get rid of those floating profits. So I would say if you do catch a nice reaction off that high, look for shorts, push back into low, makes sense. Maybe you can leave some positions to run if that's your thing. But yeah, I would only be looking for shorter term trades right now for Aussie dollar. I think a short off the high makes sense. Just need to see how we react. If we look good, reject it well, I'll say that could be a nice place for an entry. Shorts back into the low, and then we'll go from there. But I don't really have a long-term bias or long-term view with Aussie dollar, just because price action in the higher time frames is just very, 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 very choppy. Ben, do you think DXY will see some relief? I mean, I want it to. I want it to because I'm looking to short euro. Not short, sorry. Looking to long euro and looking to long pound. So I kind of want it to see some upside because it will help them pull back. But I don't know. We could very much fall this afternoon. We had a bit of upsides from yesterday into this morning. We could very much see the news come out this afternoon, jobless claims, and send price down again. I'm not expecting anything crazy, but it could give dollar a kick to the downside. Equally, it could push it back up again. And there's some areas up here which you could come back and retest, which would be very, very nice, because hopefully that could help me out with euro back into some of these areas. I mean, euro is still pretty far, but pound's not too far away from some of those levels too. So do I expect it to happen? Not necessarily. I'm just kind of wait and see if it will. All I'm expecting right now with dollar is downside back to 101. So that's where my expectations lie. In terms of the intraday fluctuations, whether we'll move up first or down first, I'm not going to try and guess that too much because I'll just drive myself crazy. So I've got a couple of areas where I'm looking for dollar to come into before we get the big sell. 102.900 or even the high here, to be honest. And then, of course, I'm looking at this low here at 103.600. If we can come to either one of those areas, that would be great. Then I'm expecting dollar to fall. So yeah, that's my plan with dollar. Yeah, sell the yen, rate hike not to 2025 unless things change. So yeah, if that's the case, then of course, yen is probably going to remain pretty weak. Let me have a quick look at the Japanese index. Okay, so this one's come back into a pretty big level right now. So I wonder if we're going to have a reaction here, because this is a lovely low. We broke through that low, and now we're coming back to retest it. There's also an area just above us there too. So again, the bigger move for yen, let me just get rid of my squiggly lines. The bigger move for yen still may be to the upside. Certainly if that's the case with the rates. We may still have a bit of a reaction, but the market could print a higher low in and continue pushing to the upside, back to highs maybe. Look at the highs over there. That could be where price is moving to. That's a massive wick rejection there on the weekly too. But now we are coming to a big level there. So I think we can see a reaction. Like I said, it might not go the full swing, the full distance back to the low there. But this may still be the bigger move, and kind of look at the other indices as well. And that's kind of what I'm envisioning. US 30 moved down for a big push up. NAS moved down for a big push up. Back to highs potentially in S&P as well. Moved down for a big push up. Could see that happen on the Japanese index as well. It's getting hammered recently. Kind of looks like a head and shoulder on the 30-minute. Is that for the dollar? Okay, so inverse head and shoulder there. So you got your left, you got your head, you got your right shoulder. So yeah, possibly. Again, I'm not really trying to take advantage of any buys on dollar. So if it does push up, cool. I'm getting ready for the shorts. But yeah, I mean, that does fit the mold: left, head, right. And of course, that would kind of be your neckline there. So something like that could be a nice little opportunity. Maybe some shorts on euro as well. But yeah, I'm not really interested in taking dollar higher. But yeah, it has been hammered. It might be taking a bit of relief. See what the news has in store later on. But all I know is that I'm just looking for the sells. So I'm staying patient for that. Yeah, exactly. Might push down first before we do push up. Because again, the market's quite stretched, especially for the yen pairs. The market's quite stretched, so we could react with that low, see a push down, and then push up, which then could give some of these yen pairs to push down, and maybe once we make that move, then maybe decide it wants to push up again. So the bigger move may still be up, especially if the rates if we don't expect them to increase the rates again, then we could see that happen. But from a technical perspective, I'm still looking to take some shorts on the yen pairs for now. If things change, I'll change with it. Of course, I'm a technical trader, so if the technicals change, I have to change with it. But for now, after that massive drop from last week and the fact that we are correctively moving higher, I'm still looking for a top somewhere. I'm well aware that we might just move halfway and then decide to push bullish at a later stage. Same thing with the Japanese index as well. We may hit that level, see some downside, and then push up later on. But that move down could still be very, very profitable. Depending on your entry, depending on stop loss, could be looking at some decent risk reward, and then also take advantage of the buys when they do happen as well. So yeah, that's kind of what the plan is for me. Same with the CHF pairs too. I think Euro CHF's at the top of the list. I mean, I will look at pound CHF in more detail when it gets to that low there as well, because that was a pretty strong low, broke through as well. So I think that is an interesting place for a short. I think CAD CHF with that area there could be interesting too, but we're very, very far away from that. But yeah, in terms of my watch list, it's made up of quite a few yen pairs, quite a few CHF pairs, and then euro and pound. And the bias with the yen pairs is short for now for the Swiss, and then long euro and pound. So I'm basically looking for yen strength, Swiss strength, and dollar weakness, which isn't great because normally you do want yen, dollar, and Swiss to all be in the same boat, either strong together or weak together. But we'll see. Things might change. The dollar's still looking pretty weak to me now, so yeah, I'm happy to take some longs there for euro, and I think euro's going for a big breakout anyway. So because this one's just been moving sideways for over a year now, so I think a big breakout's going to be happening pretty soon. At least a push back to the high, maybe this high as well, and we can discuss as things develop. But for now, looking at some pullback, so hopefully we can get a nice retest of that area at some point this week. Maybe if we do see some strength from the news today for dollar, that could help push price down, get me on opportunities. If gold does break to the upside, then I'll add gold to the watch list as well. But a lot needs to happen for gold before I do that, because it needs to be a strong break as well, because these are all-time highs. So it needs to be a strong convincing break, not like a little one like this, because that could easily just be another fake out for price to bleed back down again. So I need price to really show me that, okay, momentum is back, the buyers are back in town, and we're likely to head higher. Then yeah, I'll take a buy, because I don't normally look to engage in price when we're all-time highs, all-time lows. But because of gold, and I know that gold is likely just to continue higher anyway, I don't mind it, especially if the breakout's clean. And because the setup was pretty clean as well, but it has to be a decent breakout too. So if it is a decent breakout at some point this week or whenever it does happen, I'll add gold to the list too. Silver's got some work to do, but again, if that starts looking neat and tidy, we break structure or we push back into the low, I'll be looking to add silver to the list as well, as a market which I'll be interested in longs. But CAD pairs, again, not really doing it for me. A lot of them are a little bit don't really know what they're doing. Very wishy-washy price action. New Zealand CAD, what's going on there? I don't know. Aussie CAD, I don't know either. So again, if I'm looking to trade these, it's going to be very, very short term, because I don't want to stay too long, because I just don't know what prices do in long term. Euro NZD, I'm waiting for a big swing to the downside for these pairs, but they're not quite there yet. Euro pound, haven't touched this one in a while. Very, very choppy price action, so I'm not looking to touch it. Aussie New Zealand dollar, likewise, not really looking to touch it either. And of course, you've got your Swiss pairs, which look good. Well, not all of them. At least pound and euro. And maybe CAD too if we get to that low. But we're pretty far out. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at in terms of pairs I'm looking at, pairs on the watch list. I do think we can see a bit of a drop for the indices as well. How is UK 100 doing? Okay, UK 100 still looking pretty bullish. So again, for UK 100, I do think we can see a drop too. But again, I still think the bigger move is to the upside most likely. Again, the analysis has been pretty much the same for all the indices, US indices, DAX, UK 100. I do think price is likely going to push back to the high, but first, probably a move down, especially as we push back into resistance here. Probably a move down and then a big move up. So yeah. What's up, Emmy? Most traders in Europe or US are still in summer vacation, right? Yeah, this is summer holiday for Europe. Yeah, I mean, I don't know the rest of Europe, but I know the Western world it is. America, I think so as well. Summer holidays, yeah, I think so. But yeah, it's summer holiday here. At least the schools are out. Some of the big players are out as well. But it should be kicking off back again towards late August, September. Everything should be coming to motion again. At least from September onwards. But yeah, we typically do see a little bit less momentum, volatility in this time in the summer. Some people do take summer off. I'm not one of them. Yeah, there are still nice opportunities during the summer months. Maybe not as much as usual, but again, as a trader, if you've got time to trade, as long as it's good opportunities you're taking, I don't see why not to take the trade. I will be live again later today, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, with Trader Nick on his channel. We spoke about briefly about Trader Nick. I will be live with him later today on his channel around 1:45 UK time. So in about a little under 2 hours from now. Of course, the news would have just broken with USD So we'll see what happens regarding that, how it affects the market, share my opinion on that. And of course, we'll see what's going on in the markets together. So if you are free, make sure you go check out that stream too. I will drop the link to that in my Telegram. So if you're not in Telegram, make sure you go check it out. Only ever sell under a H450. Oh, okay. Okay, so if it's under the 50, it's counted as like a bearish market, I assume. If it's under the 50, it's bearish market. If it's above, it's a bullish market. Makes a lot of sense. I mean, when we're below, we continue down. When we're above, we buy. And it makes things pretty straightforward as well. And again, that's one of like simple techniques you can use to kind of flush out some rubbish trades. No problem, Emmy. Yeah, it would have been different for the past couple of months. But yeah, late August, September, I'm expecting some momentum to be coming back into the markets. Hey, watching from Botswana, wicked. Did you see Tobago's parade when he came back for the Olympics? Okay, so yeah, guys, we'll be looking to look and see what happens with the news. But generally speaking, the yen pairs aren't quite in my area yet, so I don't think much will be happening on my end. Maybe Euro CHF, if I see a big rejection there, I might consider some shorts there, but it's got to shift momentum pretty well. Right now, it's still really bullish. So yeah, I'll probably be on the sidelines unless I see a big rejection. Euro dollar, a little bit far away. Pound USD, not so much. So I'll consider longs there. But yeah, yen pairs have got some work to do if I'm going to get short. Again, don't try to force anything, but yeah, they're not quite at my zones just yet. I mean, very sloppy price action, so I don't know. It might take a bit of time. I thought the news yesterday would do it, but oh well. Anywho, hey, love to see that. I appreciate that. Well, keep it up, my man. Keep it up. Of course, these streams will continue Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So if you guys are enjoying the stream, stay tuned. Make sure you like and subscribe as well. And hit the bell so you don't miss out any streams or uploads in the future. But we have come up to the end of the stream, guys. But like I said, we'll be live again later today. So if you do want to see some more analysis or ask me some more questions, make sure you do check out the stream later today with Trader Nick on his channel. I'll be live from 1:45, or I'll be live then from 1:45 UK time. So make sure you check it out. Yeah, I did see that. Ben. That is hilarious. Cole Palmer celebration. Mate, Chelsea is signed to Bogo, to be honest, at this point. But yeah, guys, I will be live again later today with Trading Nick on his channel, so make sure you check that out. I'll post the link in the Telegram when I do go live with him. If you can't catch that, no need to worry. We'll be live again tomorrow, Friday, as always, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time as well. So if you're free, make sure you're there. And I'll catch you in that one. But besides from that, guys, have a fantastic day. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next one.